So we can start our meeting. The Board of Crystal City, the Board of Trustees of Crystal City ISD. We're live. Independent School District will meet in regular session 6 p.m. Monday, February the 10th. 2025 in the Administration Building, boardroom, 113-B, West Zavala Street, Crystal City, Texas. And at this time, Ana, can you do a roll call?
Mr. Reyes Espinosa?
I'm here.
Mr. Sammy Houston? Here. Mr. Cruz Mata? Here. Mr. Victor Bonilla III is absent. Mr. Gabriel Espinosa?
Here.
Mr. Vince Martinez?
Here.
Someone
Here.
Yeah.
Okay. Mrs. Peggy Young? Here.
So we do have a quorum. Number 3, moment of reflection. Number 4, audience to patrons.
One, sir.
So you want to do it now with,
So, Mr. Espinosa, before we get started on the agenda and with your authorization, I would like to ask Dr. Galloway to come up to the podium and Linda McAnally, who will be working with the district as well. Dr. Galloway?
Board trustees, thank you for having us. It's good to be back again. As you know, when I came to help with the LSG work, the Lone Star governance work, initially when I was brought on, it was to be able to support Region 20 with the 2-day workshop. And then there was a change and some things happened, but my primary work is with the Texas Strategic Leadership. So when I first came on as a coach, I had 2 districts for Texas Strategic Leadership. I now have 6 districts, and so my workload is gotten a lot larger. So the conversations were had with Region 20 to bring Miss Linda McAnally on to assist. Now, Miss Linda McAnally is a retired superintendent from Divine, and she's been an LSG coach since 2017, and she's also my mentor. And so she's going to be actually your official board coach moving forward, but I'm going to still be supporting her, and I'm also going to stay your field service agent, which means that I'm going to be supporting Miss Briones with anything she has regarding the Region 20, but we're going to probably tag team quite a bit. This year with the funding for you guys for the grant for LSG, it's significantly less, and to ensure that you can still keep getting reimbursed for the amount and you guys don't have to pay anything out of pocket. Us traveling down here won't happen as much, but we'll probably see us quite a few times on Zoom or doing Zooms back and forth. But you're still going to get the same level of support, if not more, because she's retired, so she's got a little bit more time than I do with the 6 districts I work with. So I'll just turn it over to her and let her kind of introduce herself.
I retired from Region 20 in December of 23, continued to work with them in 24 until July of 24, and then I went independent. But I have coached 5 school districts through the process, through the Lone Star governance process, 2 of them for 5 years. And I've actually trained some of you while I was at Region 20. I recognize some of your faces, or I may have seen you across a football field or a basketball court, right? As javelinas and war horses or Arabians may have teed up. But I want you to know that I love the work of supporting school boards and superintendents, and look forward to working with you. And my ultimate goal, as is Chris's goal and Mrs. Briones, is to do what is best for kids. That's why we're here, and that's why we have school, and to help them with their achievement. And so I look forward to working with you. Certainly excited to do that, and in any way that I can help, just know that I'm a phone call away, a text away, and I might look better on that than I do in person. I know it might take the wrinkles away, so I will certainly be prepared to Zoom with you or take calls in any way that we can help you with your important work of moving the district forward with kids and with their achievement. So look forward to that. Any questions that you'd like
I
to
have
ask?
questions for,
Yes.
when we started, it was supposed to be 18 months of training.
Yep, so December would be that mark, so the goal is to try to get you to that benchmark in December. So we have a few things that we need to get done before August. There's 5 things that we've got to get done, and you're already on track to do some of those. Some of those you're doing tonight, and some you have already scheduled for February. So we're going to be heading down that path, so there's no going backwards. You're going to get credit for everything you've done. So the goal would be, you know, by December, we should hopefully be done. Now, your funding
Runs out July 31st.
runs out July
So
31st.
we've got a pace to
Yeah.
get some things done by July 31st, absolutely.
Yeah.
Will you be able to help us with the funding, or that's not your area?
So that's a great question. So that's going to be, depending on how we benchmark through, the goal was to had a conversation that gets you funded through December. And so that's the goal, to try to get you funded through December for the remaining
That's one
part.
of the first things I asked them about. I said, look, we have a short timeline here, a short turnaround. And so that's why we want to get everything done and get it on track so that we can ask for that. It's dependent, like it is with everyone, is there funding available? Because they've already chosen their exemplary districts and you're one of the exemplar cohorts. And so if someone did not use all their funds, there might be funding available. So it's kind of a, we don't know yet, but we're going to get all the work done so we can ask and say, okay, if there's funding, look what we've accomplished. Could you possibly find some change for us? Or maybe have a bingo night. I don't know. Not you, but at the agency.
Second question, sir, on the funding that you have, do you have, because I remember you saying that we could go to San Antonio or unless I dreamed of it, that we could go to San Antonio for a workshop.
Yeah, so that was under last year's funding, because last year's funding, there was $15,000. This year's funding is only $5,000. So it's a lot significantly less. If we don't use all the money and you guys want to attend a workshop, then absolutely that could be the case.
Some of us are trying to go to the Summer Institute, and
Okay. Yeah, there's probably not enough funding for that with the 5,000, to be honest with you. Yeah.
we can all stay in a room.
Yeah. Yeah. I will tell you that this is a whole side note, but we talked about this today at Region 20. We're working on doing a board workshop similar to what you're talking about for boards in Region 20, where you can come to one summer institute and get it all done. And so we're working on that and possibly doing, you guys make commitments for different things like services of Region 20. We're looking at starting a board one to where, like, if you pay a certain amount, that covers all your board trainings, and then it's actually going to save you guys money and boards money, especially small districts. So that's what we're looking at.
So when did you say you might be the last time you're here?
This might be the last time we're physically here. Yeah, so it's probably going to be on.
You can't stay 10 more years till I get out. Because you've helped us a lot. You really.
I can still help you through Zoom and through phone calls. You guys can still reach out to me, and I'll also get Linda involved as well too. So
We'll tag team, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, anything else?
No, I mean, we just wanted to know, because I had heard rumors that you will no longer be with us, and we're gonna have her, and
yeah, we were back and forth with TA, not knowing for sure what was going on.
so
Yeah.
now I know that you will be working.
We're gonna tag team because, I'm not gonna leave you guys behind. And I'm your field service agent, so that means I'm your liaison between you and Region 20. There was another person, but they said because they feel like you guys like me a little bit, and then I can stay with you guys for a little bit longer. Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Well, thank you for everything
Yeah.
you've done, and,
Very much.
Yes, sir.
number 5, we're gonna have the public hearing, presentation of 2023-24 Texas Academic Performance Report.
Mrs. Sarah Garcia will present the district annual report for the 23-24 school year.
In our packet.
Yes.
Good evening.
I will be presenting the 2023-24 district annual report. This report does have to be presented to the public. It is divided into 8 sections. Section 1 is the 23-24 Texas Academic Performance Report. Section 2 is the PEAMS Financial Standard Report. Section 3 is the district accreditation status. Section 4 are the campus performance objectives. Section 5 is our report on violent or criminal incidents on campuses. Section 6 is the student performance in post-secondary institutions. Section 7 is our progress toward board-adopted HB3 goals. And Section 8 is our 23-24 taper glossary. I don't know how your book is organized, if it's going to be based off of the PowerPoint or on the taper. I will tell you what pages I'm going to go off of. Right now, I'm looking at the Section 1 in your PowerPoint. This is a 23-24. I'm going to describe what you're going to see in the Texas Academic Performance Report, Section 1. This data is compiled by TEA for every district and campus using PEAMS and student assessment data. And it's the 23-24 taper is published as a PDF. It includes a wide range of information on the performance of students in each district and campus in the state. Performance is shown desegregated by student groups, including ethnicity and socioeconomic status, and provides extensive information on school and district staff programs and student demographics. Page 4 of the PowerPoint, continued with Section 1, we have our cover page. This only includes district or campus name and number. Typically, the cover page includes the following information: accountability rating, special education determination status, distinction designations, and ASVAB test. And I'm going to call Ms. Noralisa Mendoza to come up here, because if you see on our actual taper, which is the cover page on your actual taper report, district name, this is the ISD, district number 254901. For 2024 special education determination status, we do have a needs intervention designation. Ms. Mendoza will distribute our documentation based off of our special education action plans, which is everything that we have done since July of 2024.
Thank you.
To improve our needs intervention determination status. Right now, I have oversight of the special education program and work closely with Ms. Mendoza on all of those items. We meet with TEA twice a month. We used to meet up to once a week. And we work closely on submitting all the documentation that they have requested based on our corrective action plans for our targeted review and our cyclical review. And I'm going to move on. Going back to the PowerPoint, page 5, still in Section 1 of the STAR performance reported for 24 and 23, I'm going to be looking at pages 3 to 12 in the report. All 3 performance rates are reported as approaches grade level or above, meets grade level or above, and master's grade level. These are reported for each assessment, including SAT and ACT for accelerated testers, all grades by subjects, all grades by subject, by enrolled grade, 3rd graders through 8th graders at meets grade or above, reading and math, grade 3 to 8 assessments only, and grades 3 to 8 assessments and EOCs, and reading, grades 3 to 8 assessments and EOCs, and math, grades 3 to 8 assessments and EOCs. So if we look at the page 3 of our taper, and I'm back on the taper report, I'm not going to go into every single one because we'll be here for another 2 hours like we were last year. So I'm going to highlight the most critical points of the taper report. These reports are based off of data over a 2-year period. Are we improving? We're looking for whether or not we're improving based on the previous year performance, and we're also looking at comparison against the region and the state. So if we look at grade 3 reading, I'm gonna look at 2023. In 2023, at approaches grade level or above, we earned a 61%. 2024, we earned a 71%. So we did increase by 10 points.
That's 3.
If we look at the region was 72% and the state was 74%. Right now, we are within 5 points of the state and the region, and we are able to be comparable to the state and the region. At meets grade level or above, for 2023, we were at a 27%. Last year, 2024, we were at a 44%, and we increased by 17 points. In comparison to the region and the region was at 46% and the state was at 48%. So we are still able to compete against the state and the region. At master's grade level, for 2023, we were at 5%. Last year, we were at 9%, so we increased by 4 points. The region was at 19% and the state was at 21%. So we know that that's one of the areas that we are going to focus on reaching master's performance. And then I'm going to scoot you down to the right side. We have our subgroups. We have our special ed current, we have our special ed former, we have our continuously enrolled, our non-continuously enrolled, economically disadvantaged, and then our emergent bilingual, current and monitored. The number has an asterisk because the number is too small. It doesn't meet the criteria to be able to publish the number. But if you look at our special ed current, we are at 50%. Special ed former, we are at 100% in comparison to the district at 71%, the region at 72%, and the state at 74%. Our continuously enrolled, we're at 73%. Continuously enrolled, non-continuously enrolled, we're at 63%. Our economically disadvantaged, we are 68%. So we are still able to compete against the region and the state. And that's grade 3 reading. Grade 3 math. In 2023, at approaches grade level, we were at 63%. 2024, we're at 75%. We increased by 12 points. Looking at the region, they were at 68%. The state was at 70%. Grade 3 mathematics outperformed the state and the region. In meets grade level, 2023, we were at 31%. 2024, we're at 45%. We increased by 14%. The region, 39%. State, 42%. We still outperformed at meets grade level. Master's grade level, 2023, we were at 13%. Last year, we were at 11%. The region was at 13%, state was at 15%. We are underperforming, but we are also already developing strategies on how to get our students from meets to masters so that we can increase our master's students. And then again, you can see our special ed current students are at 70%. Our special ed former are at 100%. Continuously enrolled, 78%. Non-continuously enrolled, 63%, and our economically disadvantaged, 75%. And now I'm going to scoot on over to page 4, and I'm going to highlight grade 5 science. In 2023, grade 5 science at approaches level was at 62%. 2024, we're at 56%. The region was at 55%. And the state was at 58%. We are outperforming the region. We're not outperforming the state, but we are still within the 5 points, and we are still able to compete against the state. So I do want you to notice that the entire state and region saw a decrease in science, 5th grade science scores. At meets grade level or above, 2023, we were at 26%. Last year, we were at 20%. And then the region was at 25%, and the state was at 28%. At master's grade level, 2023, we were at 13%. Last year, we were at 5%. The region was at 10%, and the state was at 7%. And then I'm gonna go on over to grade 7. At grade 7 reading, at approaches grade level for 2023, we were at a 63%. Last year, we scored a 56%. We did see a decrease by 7%. We are underperforming by 7%. The region was at 73% and the state was at 74%. In meets grade level or above, 2023, we were at 30%. Last year, we remained at 30%. However, the region went up to 53% and the state was at 54%. At master's grade level, we were at 6%, 2023. Last year, we were at 4%. The region was at 26% and the state was at 29%. So this is an area that we do need to focus on, and we do need to come up with a strategic action plans to ensure our students are increasing. Grade 7 mathematics. 2023, we were at 54% and we decreased to 46%. The region was at 52% and the state was at 56% for approaches. At meets, the previous year at 2023, we were at 24% and we remained the same last year, 24%. The region was at 31% and the state was at 34%. And at masters, 2023, we were at 2%. We did see an increase there to 7%. The region was at 10% and the state was at 11%. And then I'm going to go over to grade 8 mathematics. Grade 8 mathematics at approaches grade level. 2023, we were at 67%. 2024, we go up to 80%. We increased by 13 points. The region was at 69% and the state was at 72%. We outperformed the region and the state. And if you look over to our special education, we hit a 67%. So we almost outperformed the region. We were right there. And then if you look at meets grade level or above, 2023, we were at 25% and we increased it to 45%. The region was at 37% and the state was at 43%. We still outperformed the region and the state. And then page 6, at master's grade level, 2023, we were at 3% and the district came out at 5%. The region came out at 12% and the state at 16%. So we have work to do there. Grade 8 science, 2023 at approaches level, we were at a 50%. We increased it to 53%. The region came out to 69% and the state to 70%. We need to work on that area to make sure that we are able to compete against the region and the state. At meets grade level, 2023, we were at 22% and we decreased to 18%. The region was at 43% and the state was at 44%. Master's grade level, 2023, we were at 6% and we decreased to 4%. The region was at 16% and the state was at 17%. And then I want to look at end of course English 1. At approaches grade level for 2023, we hit a 59%. We did see a 10-point decrease to 49%. We are underperforming. And then in comparison to the region is at 69% and the state is at 70%. We do know that we need to work on English 1. And then I'm going to look over on page 7. End of course biology. At approaches grade level in 2023, we earned a 76%. We increased it to 80% by 4 points. But in comparison to the region, 92%, and the state, 91%, we are still underperforming. At meets grade level, 2023, we were 33%. We decreased to 28%. In comparison to the region at 57%, and at the state at 56%. Master's grade level, 2023, we were at a 3%, and last year we earned a 2%. The region was at 19% and the state was at 19%. So we know that we are underperforming in end of course biology, and we need to work on end of course biology. And then I will highlight end of course US history. 2023, we were at a 93%, and last year we came out at a 96%. The region was at 96% and the state was at 96%. So we are right there, able to be comparable to the region and the state. Meets grade level or above. 2023, we were at a 69%. Last year we were at a 63%. The region was at 70% and the state was at 69%. Master's grade level. 2023, we were at a 31%. Last year we came out at a 22%, a decrease. The region was at 38% and the state was at 37%. So we know that we need to work on increasing our master's level students. And then I'm going to have you flip over to our next section of our PowerPoint, which is page 6 of our PowerPoint. Page 6 of our PowerPoint, in this next section, we will discuss the school progress, which is the annual growth reported by grade and subject of assessment, assessments which are reading, language arts, and math. The accelerated learning, which is the 45-45 performance, again, reported by grade and subject of assessment.
Sorry, Ms. Garcia, what section again?
I'm looking at the page 6 of your PowerPoint. On yours, you have to be flipping back and forth. Yeah, in the beginning.
Section 1?
It's still section 1. It's your page 12 of your taper report. And this section also covers academic growth, which is domain 2, and accountability, which is a combination of annual growth and accelerated learning. This data is based off the students that tested for 2 years, and I will cover pages 12 to 13. And again, I'm just going to highlight certain areas. In grade 4 ELA, because grade 3 will not have the 2 years to show the progress, grade 4 does. We did see a 20-point gain, and 2023, we were at 30%. 2024, we earned 50 points, 50%. So our kids have shown that they have gained 20%. If you look at the region was at 65%, the state is at 67%. I'm gonna highlight grade 6 ELA and reading. Grade 6 ELA, 2023, we were at a 38%. 2024, we were at a 57%, so we saw a 19-point gain. I'm gonna highlight grade 7 ELA reading. 2023, we were at a 58%. We did see an 8-point dip to 50%. The region was at 65% and the state was at 66%. Grade 7 mathematics, we were at a 44% in 2023, and we did see a 3-point gain to 47%. Grade 8 reading, 2023, we were at a 52%, and we increased it to a 65%. End of course, English 2, I'm going to highlight that test. 2023, we were at a 71% in school progress, in STAR progress. And in 2024, we decreased to a 57%. And of course, Algebra 1, 2023, we were at a 74%, and last year we were at a 62%. So we know that we need to work on those areas. And then I'm going to go over to the next section, which covers bilingual education and English as a second language. In your PowerPoint, it is page 7. In your taper, it's page 14. This area is disaggregated data for various bilingual education ESL program instructional models and groups. It also goes over the STAR performance reported for 2024 and 23. The annual growth and the accelerated learning for our bilingual education, English as a second language. And I'm not gonna go over the whole thing, but I'm going to highlight the top portion, which is all grades, all subjects. At approaches grade level or above, our district is at 62%. 2023, we were at a 63%, so we did see a 1 point decrease. The region is at 73% and the state is at 75%. We know that we have to work on our ESL program, but I do want you to look at the far end, the monitored and former emergent bilingual English limited population. We are at 82%. We are outperforming the region and the state and the district.
So, Sarah, what does that mean, monitor?
These are students that have already been reclassified out of our ESL program. They've met criteria to be reclassified, so they are no longer classified as emergent bilinguals because they have reached advanced high in the TELPAS, and then they have also passed at some point they passed their reading STAR or reading or English 1 EOC. So they met criteria to be able to be exited from the ESL program. So in other words, they've met English proficiency. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, and then I'm going to go over to the next section of our taper report, which is in your PowerPoint, page 8. And in your taper, it's pages 16 to 18. I am not going to cover this in great detail. This discusses the STAR participation. And I'm not going to go over it because I know that our campuses, our principals, our teachers, our truant officers, our entire campus staff is excellent at getting our students to come in to test. And you can review the percentages, and I will just say that right now assessment participation, we were at 99% for all tests, which is excellent. And then I'm going to go over the next section, pages 19 to 22 of the taper report, which will be at page 19. This section will review the attendance, graduation, and dropouts reported for 2022 and 23, and the 2021 and 2022 school years. This discusses the attendance rate, chronic absenteeism, annual dropout rate for 7th through 8th and 9th through 12th grades, 4-year longitudinal graduation rate, 5-year extended longitudinal graduation rate, 6-year extended longitudinal graduation rate, the 4-year federal graduation rate without exclusions, the graduation plan rates, the graduation profile for the 22-23 graduates. Okay, so for the 23-24 data that was captured, these are numbers that were captured for the 2021-22 school year and the 22-23 school years. If you look at our attendance rate in 21-22 was an 89.5%. 22-23, we increased it to a 90.2%. So we saw a good increase in attendance. In our chronic absenteeism, 21-22, we were at a 35.5%. 22-23, we decreased it to 33.1%. So there was a 2.1% decrease. Annual dropout rate for grades 7 through 8. 21-22, we were at a 1.7. That number did increase in 22-23 to a 2.2. And it increased in comparison to the region and the state, which the region and the state were at 0.8 and 0.8. But then you look at our annual dropout rate for grades 9 to 12. In 21-22, we were at a 3.9%. We decreased it to a 2.0%. And the region was at 2.7, the state was at 2.0. So we are closing that gap of our annual dropouts. And we are able to measure up to the state. And just going off of the 4-year longitudinal rate for grades 9 to 12, our students that graduated were at 94%. And then if you flip the page to page 20, Class of 2021, I'm just gonna go over the graduated class. We had 95.7% graduating. And then I'm going to go over to page 22. Our graduation profile. For the class of 22-23, total graduates, we had 143. We had 0%, 0 African Americans. We had 142 Hispanic. We had 1 Asian. By graduation type, we had, under the Foundation High School program with no endorsements, we had 8 students graduate. Under the Foundation High School program with endorsements, we had 0. But then under the Foundation High School program distinguished, we had 135 students graduate. And then special education graduates, out of the 143, we had 26. We had 18.2%. We are seeing more students graduate than the state. Economically disadvantaged graduates, we had 114 out of the 143. Emergent bilingual students, we had 4. At-risk graduates, we had 106. And our CTE completers were at 76. We are being highly successful with our graduates. And the next section, which in your PowerPoint is page 10, I'm going to cover pages 23 to 28. This is our college and career military readiness for the 22-23 and 21-22 graduates. This section covers our CCMR graduates, college ready graduates, overall and by specific college ready indicator, career and military ready graduates, overall and specific career military ready indicator. Our CCMR related indicators, which covers the TSIA results, completed and received credit for college prep courses, our AP IB results, our SAT ACT results, and other post-secondary indicators, which are the advanced dual credit course completion for the 22-23 and 21-22 school years. Our graduates enrolled in Texas institutions of higher education, and our graduates in the Texas Institute for Higher Education completing 1 year without enrollment in a developmental education course. So I'm looking at page 23 of.
Hold on, I got a question on, level 1, level 2 certs. We were at 15.4 1 year, and then all of a sudden we dropped down to 4.2.
Where are you? What page are you on?
Graduates with level 1 or level 2 certificate. That's on page 24.
24. Yes, although we did see a decrease between 21-22 and 22-23.
Have we,
Look at in comparison to the region and the state, we're still outperforming the region and the state.
but have we looked at why did, from 15.4 to 4.2, that's a big chunk of.
Yeah, and within the past 2 years, I know our high school has worked on alignment of our programs of study for our CTE courses. We have worked closely with the service center to make sure that we have the appropriate certification assessments so that our students will be successful in earning a level 1, level 2 certificate. I know that recently our culinary arts was highly successful in getting all of their students to earn a certification already. So we are increasing that number as we speak. But yes, we did see a decrease, but we are still outperforming the region and the state.
And the reason I'm concerned with that, because that's, to me, that kind of like HB8 funding. So, I mean, the more we can get, the better.
And the outcomes bonuses. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to page 22. And I'm going to pretty much just jump around and highlight certain areas. Our TSI criteria graduates in English language arts, 21-22, we had 8.7%. We increased it to a 15.4%. TSI criteria graduates in both subjects, 21-22, we were at a 1.9% and we increased it to a 9.1%. Although we're seeing these increases, we're still significantly behind the region and the state. We are already working, I know our high school is already working on developing strategic goals to target those areas of TSI because we need our students to be college ready. If you look at associate's degree, in 2021 and 22, we had 0%. We did have students graduate with an associate's degree in 22, 23. Dual credit courses, this is where we do extensive work. In 21, 22, we had 37.5%. 22, 23, we were at 43%, 43.7%. Sorry, I'm looking at Hispanic. I need to be looking at the district. 21, 22, we were at 37.5%. And the district was at 44.1%. In comparison to the region, that was 22.6%, and the state that was at 23.6%, we are outperforming the region and the state. And I know that our high school is already working on increasing that number even higher than what it is right now. So. Okay, and then I'm gonna go over to the next section, page 25. Continued with CCMR related indicators. I'm going to highlight our TSIA results. And just briefly, under reading, we had again 8.7%. We increased it to a 14%. Mathematics, we were at a 3.8% and we increased it to an 11.9% in 22-23. Both subjects, we were at a 1.9% and we increased it to an 8.4%. And then I'm going to jump over to page 26. And I'm going to highlight our SAT, ACT results. Our number of tested students in 21-22, we were only at a 6.7% and we increased it to a 12.6%. That is a 6% increase. I know that our high school has already developed strategic goals for advanced testing. They've worked on increasing our number of students that participate in the SAT, ACT assessments. I'm going to go over to page 27. Our advanced dual credit course completion for grades 9 to 12. And I'm just going to go into any subject. 2021 and 22, we were at a 45%. 22-23, we earned a 59.9%, 60%. We are outperforming the region and the state. And not only that, but if you look across at our special education, economically disadvantaged, and our emergent bilingual population, special ed, we were at a 50.0%. Economically disadvantaged, 57.9%, and our emergent bilingual was at 70%. We are outperforming in our special programs in our advanced dual credit course completion against the state and the region. The next page, now we're going to highlight or review the student information section of our taper report. These are pages 29 to 33. Actually, I'm looking at page 28, student information. For the 23-24 school year, we had a total number of students of 1,706. And then you have students by grade level. We have our ethnic distribution. And then we have our other student cohorts. We do have 1,407 students that are economically disadvantaged. We have 299 students that are non-educationally disadvantaged. We have 168 students in section 504. We have 36 emergent bilingual students. We have 35 students with disciplinary placements, and we had 139 students with dyslexia. We do have a 20% higher than the state. And then if you flip over to page 29, we have continued student information. I'm going to go over the percentages and not the number count. Foster care, we do have 0.5%. Homeless, we have 5.1%. Immigrant, we have 0.1%. Migrant, we have 0.9%. Title I, we are 100%. Military connectedness, we are 0.2%, and at risk, we are 44.5%. And then the rest is students by instructional program, students with disabilities by type of primary disability. We have our total mobile students that they will be with us for 1 year and they will leave us the next year. And then I'm going to go over the next section, which is page 30, not section, but next page. And on page 30, I'm just going to review the class size information. Elementary, kindergarten, we have, this is the average size of the classroom at the district level. So for kindergarten, we have 20.2 students that are average counted in the classroom compared to the state at 18.4. Grade 1, 13.3 compared to the state at 18.8. Grade 2, 16.8, the state at 19.1. Grade 3, 15 students compared to the state at 19 students. Grade 4, 13.5 students compared to the state at 19.4 students. I'm going to go over to secondary, and I'm just going to go quickly discuss English language arts. We have 15.6 students compared to the state at 16.3 students. We are working on right-sizing the campuses to ensure that our class sizes are where they should be. And then I'm going to go over to page 31, and I'm quickly going to highlight campus administration, our total count. We have 4.4% compared to the state at 3.3%. We are 1.1% higher. Central administration is at 1.6% compared to the state at 1.2%. Educational aides, we had 19.2% compared to the state at 11.4%. Auxiliary staff, we have 34.5% compared to the state at 24.7%. Teachers by highest degree, we have 94.8 teachers with a bachelor's degree, and we have 15.7 teachers with a master's degree. Teachers by years of experience, I do want you to know that 1.5 of our teachers average 1 through 5 years of experience. That's where most of our teachers are at right now. And we have a 34.6% count. 11 to 20 years, we have 23.7%. And then the next page, which is 32. Experience of campus leadership. Average years of experience of principals, 2.4, compared to the state that has 6 years. Average years experience of principals with the district, we have 2.4. We do have a fairly young leadership staff. Average teacher salary, if you look at how we are doing in comparison to the state, we are still under. And then average actual salaries of regular duties for teachers, professional support, campus administration, central administration, instructional staff, percent turnover rate, we are still behind the state. And then the last page, page 33 of the TAPER report, is teachers by program. Bilingual ESL education, we have 0.7. CTE, we have 6.1. Compensatory education, we have 9.0. Gifted and talented, we have 0.4. Regular education, we have 88.1. Special education, 6.6. And other is 1.6. And then the next section of our full TAPER report is going to be reviewed by Ms. Mirna Estrada for business.
Good evening. Maybe let's be honest. A lot of data that Ms. Sarah gave us. And we still have a long way to go, so I'm gonna go over budgeted financial data, the 22-23. This is all 22-23 data. And it's, page, go on in there, page 104. We're gonna go over the revenues for the general fund. We only have one line item there, and it's a state operating funds, and it's $11,390,847. And on the expenditure side, we have by object, 61 payroll, 61, we have $11,288,550. Professional, 62, $3,255,609. That is per student. On the district side, we have a line section that says per student. And it's 6,349 in the general.
What do we get for student?
Yes. On the next page, we have, we still continue with expenditures by object. The 6,300s. Well, as a general fund, we have $2,320,242. The 6,400s, $2,260,550. And the total for, we also have the next object, the 66 objects, $765,500. The total for the grant operating expenditures for that line item is $19,845,951. And the next we have expenditures by function. And the total of the operating expenditures by function is $19,080,451, including the 66 by function is $765,500. The total expenditure for that line item is $19,845,951. And on the bottom, we have the same expenditures, but it's by pick. And it's all listed there, including the pick at the bottom, and it equals also to $19,845,951. On the next page, the general fund, the disbursements. We have operating expenditures, $19,080,451. Recapture, 0.
Sorry, what was that number again?
$19,080,451.
I'm seeing the wrong one. I'm saying 19,845,000.
No, I'm saying the total expenditures in the top.
Okay, well, which page are you
We're
on?
on page 404.
Page 4.
Better be.
Okay, I see it now.
Then we have intergovernmental charges, 5,000. Capital projects, 765,500. Total disbursements, this page we have the general fund, 20,270,951. And on the next page, we have the 22-23 actuals. You're gonna see the actuals now in the financial data. Total enrollment membership is 1,794. The revenues for the general fund, we have local property and M&O, excluding recapture. We didn't have any recapture. It's for the general fund, it's 11,176,967. Per student, 6,230. State operating funds, $6,925,433. State operating funds, I'm sorry, where is it? Federal funds is $1,729,000. $203. Local, $658,957. Total operating revenue, we have $20,490,560. In total recapture zero, we're gonna go to the bottom, we have a state, TRS contribution, $151,907, a total for that line item, the revenues, is $20,642,467. Expenditures, operating expenditures by object, we have payroll, 17,281,622. Next page, we have the general fund. Professional and contract services, which is object 6,200, we have $3,872,455. Under supplies and materials, 6,363. We have $2,786,430. Other operating expenditures, which is 64, $1,129,317. And the other object is 66. We have the capital outlay, $1,504,119. The total expenditures for that object is $26,573,943. On the bottom, we have the same operating expenditures, but we have them by functions. And the total is, for that operating expenditures by function is $26,573,943. On the bottom, we also have the same, but by pick. And the total for that is the operating expenditures by pick, and on the bottom, we have the 66. And it gives us the total at the back, the general fund on page 4, total for the $26,573,943. And there, the next item is disbursements, total disbursements. Operating expenditures is $25,069,824. We have zero recapture. Total other uses, which is, we have some transfers out to some of the accounts, especially the EHBA. It's $435,415. Other governmental charges is $412,532. And the total disbursements is $27,421,871. Next item, we have tax rates for the 22-23. Maintenance and operations tax rate is 0.8546. Interest and sinking tax rate is 0.2886. And on the bottom, we have a fund balance, restricted fund balance for all funds, $3,604,414, and this is for the 22-23 financial data, and this is coming from the audit report the ending August 2023. And on the next page, we have the unassigned fund balance, the general fund, $6,928,352. Fund balance reconciliation on the very bottom on page 5. We have the 22-23 total fund balance prior year, $9,500,752. 22-23 excess deficiency for the operating expenditures, we had a negative $2,136,985. For the 22-23, also we have an excess deficiency for the non-operating, which is a transfers out to the general fund to other funds. We got a negative $415. And for the total 22-23 total fund balance, we ended up with a $6,928,352 for the 22-23 report. And on the next page, we have the distribution by campus: Loma Rivera, Zavala, Juarez, junior high and high school, and this is by campus. If you have any questions?
Thank you, Miko. Next section of our annual report will be section 3. And this is our district accreditation status for the 22-23 school year. And just keep in mind that because of litigation at the state level and the latest intrusion on the accountability system, we're still accredited based off of the 22-23 accountability system. And Crystal City ISD is under the in 21-22 or 2022 first rating, we were at A, we had a superior achievement. In the accountability rating, we were a B, and our accreditation status, we were accredited. The next section are our campus performance objectives. I'm not going to read those in detail. I'm just going to just briefly discuss that. Our campus goals and our performance objectives are approved by our school board in this year. They were approved in October 2024. Keep in mind that the goals, and although the goals and the performance objectives are approved, our strategies are pretty much a living document, and those can be adjusted, they can be modified, we can create new strategies to approach our goals and performance objectives based on data, and our campuses are always monitoring their campus improvement plans. Section 5, report on violent or criminal incidents. This is our 23-24 school year report on violent or criminal incidents. If you look at the highlighted yellow, the first section is campus 101. It has our district number followed by our campus number. So the 101 is DTR, 106 is LDZ, 104 is Benito Juarez, 042 is Sterling H. Junior High, and 001 is CCHS. TEA has this report distributed by reason codes on the side. And these codes are used by TEA when considering whether a school is safe or unsafe. And if you look at reason code 19, aggravated kidnapping at Crystal City High School, we had one that was reported to the state. Other than that, we don't see anything else. If you flip over to the next page, total incidents, we had one. It should be one. On my report, it still had the 2. The incident rate, so although we had one incident, our incident rate was still at a 0.0 reported incidents. We continue to be a safe district with safe campuses. The next section is our student performance in post-secondary institutions, because even though our students graduate and they're off on their own, we still have to continue to track our students after graduation. So for Crystal City High School, students, total graduates that were in a 4-year public university, we had 19. And then on continuing on to the right side, you'll see it by GPA for first year in public higher education in Texas. You'll see the 2.0, 2.02, 2.49, 2.5 to a 2.9, 3.0 to a 4.9, and then a greater than a 3.5. And then going back, we students in a 2-year public college, we had 42 students. Independent colleges and universities, we had 1 student reported. And then not trackable, we had 0, but then not found, we did have 42 students. Total high school graduates that were tracked were 104.
No military?
Not yet.
What's the difference?
We've had students enlist in the military. We don't get their, in order to get credit for military, we have to have their entire, I can't remember the information that they have to turn in, but it's an entire packet. It's about 8 pages of their information, and it has to be signed off by their recruiter. We've had 2 students that enlist that we are aware of, but they enlist after the reporting period. So we're not able to get credit for the students.
Can I come in and recruit?
What's the difference between not trackable and not found?
Not trackable is, there was no track of the student not found. I believe we had the student information, we couldn't find where they went.
For how many years are they tracked?
Oh, gosh, is it 2? Or for high school purposes, 1, the year after.
Year after.
Any other questions so far? Section 7, we're almost done. Progress of the district and campus towards meeting board adopted HB3 goals. That's gonna be Ms. Briones, but I'm quickly gonna jump over to the last section, section 8, this is paper glossary. This just goes over everything that we've covered in detail. If you have any questions, anything you want to discuss over this entire annual report, you can come and visit my office and we can sit down and discuss this. If you need more guidance on this document, on this report, you can always come and visit my office and walk you through this report. Thank you, Sarah. Alrighty, the last section that I will be going over is the progress the district has made towards board goals. And so I'm not going to go through the entire report. I do need you to follow after, obviously, our vision is unified for success. Our mission, we embrace a culture that inspires, empowers, and prepares. Followed by the work that we did this summer with the leadership team, with Dr. Galloway and other ESC 20 consultants, developing the portrait of a graduate that we had shared earlier in the summer with you. On page 4, going over board goal number 1. And this is a goal that we established back in 2022. By the end of the 24-25 school year, 65% of students in grade 3 reading will score at meets grade level or above, increasing summative performance from 14% to 65% by May 2025. Why 14%? Because when I inherited the district, that's where we were in terms of meets. And so looking at a rate of change, my focus, my goal is to have 65% of all of third graders at meets grade level or above, knowing that that is a challenging goal to meet. So looking at that first set of graphs, I have tracked our performance over time. In 2022, our annual target was 14%. Again, that's where we started at meets. In 2023, our annual target was 31%. We came in a little under at 27. In 2024, our annual target was 48% at meets or above. We came in at a 44%, a little under our annual target. However, we did, the state average was at 46%. So our targets are pretty high relative to how the state is performing overall. So we're pretty much on target with our third grade reading performance. I'm going to jump to page 14, which is board goal number 2. By the end of the 2024-25 school year, 65% of students in grade 3 math will score at meets grade level or above, increasing summative performance from 18% to 65% by May 2025. Again, you'll see in that first graphic, our annual targets. We started at 18%. We came in we started at 18%. Our annual target for 2023 was at 31%. We came in at 31%. In 2024, our target was 48%. We came in a little bit under. We were at 45% meets. However, the state average for meets was 40%, so we outperformed the state, but came in under our own target. So our third grade math is still outperforming. Our goal for 2025 is 65%. Again, the goal is to move our kids from approaches into meets, and from meets into masters, and we have a very strategic plan on how to do that. So that's board goal number 2. And then I'm going to move on to board goal number 3, which is CCMR. I'm on page 23 of your report. This goal has changed because accountability has changed. So what we are reporting is performance on CCMR. If you take a look at this information is still considered confidential by TEA. It is our 2024 college, career, and military readiness. We had, for the 23 school year, we had a total of 143 graduates. Of the 143 graduates, 109 contributed to our credit count for CCMR, giving us a total component score of 76%. What we do then is we take a look at what our numbers look like, where they live, and which indicators of all the CCMR indicators are contributing with a lot more weight to our component scores. And so if you take a look at dual course credits, we had 63 count credits for a total of 44%. In the area of special ed with advanced diploma plan, so these are the number of special ed students that are graduating with an advanced diploma plan, we had 23 count credits for a total of 16%. In the area of career readiness under IBC, we had a total of 65 students that earned count credit for IBC, or a total of 46%. And now I'm moving to page 24. In IBC still level 1 or level 2 certificate, we had 6 students, 6 contributing to our count credit for a total of 4%. We did not have any military readiness for the 23 school year. If you then take a look at that table 6, student achievement CCMR component score, CCHS had a component score of 76%. That 76, and I'm moving on to page 25. That 76% component score has to be given a scale score. And if you take a look at that table 1, and this is out of the 2024 accountability manual, a component score of 76 transitions into a scale score of a 78. And a 78 in the cut score table that you have before you has earned CCHS a rating of a B to date. So all the work that we have put into working with high school and their counseling department, we know is paying off. We have since recently met with Ms. Puente and her leadership team to look at what we can do to continue increasing the number of students that are graduating with an associate's degree. We are then going to spend the spring looking at on-ramps, because that's another avenue that we can tap into. The goal is to get high school to be an A-rated high school relative to CCMR. And of course, we know that achievement-wise, based on our fall interim data, and we're testing this week into next week, we know that our scores are looking really, really well. So in terms of CCMR, high school, we had it was a very low D. It is now, we're now at a B, hoping for an A for next year. CCMR is a lagging indicator, so we know that as we've worked with high school, we know that these numbers are going to get better over time. But right now, we're satisfied with the progress that we've made with CCMR at a B. So those are the 3 board goals that I have to present to you as part of the TAPER report. Do you have any questions for me in terms of progress measure? The other notes that you have there are for evaluation.
Do we have any questions from the board, or since this is a public hearing, from anybody from the public?
Is a recruiter coming and
They
But-
do.
from San Antonio, ya no tan del Río, ¿verdad?
I don't know where they come from, but they do come and they do recruit.
Aquí a la high school.
There's a,
ROTC program?
It's something that we're looking into. We have to make sure that our pathways are clearly articulated, which was an issue that we had with CCMR and level 1 and level 2 completions. Our Vestra schedule, the way that it was designed, did not entirely, was conducive to that. So now that we have that criminal justice, or that law enforcement pathway completely, all the way to career readiness, then we can start looking at how do we make the law enforcement pathway grow into something other than just law enforcement. So something that we can consider once we apply for this next set of grants that we're looking at applying. Thank you, Ms. Matos.
any other questions? If not, thank you. At this point in time, the board will go into closed session. The board of trustees will meet in closed session. It's authorized by Texas Government Code in 551-071 and 551-074 of the Open Meeting Act, Government Code Section